I was having lunch the other day with a good friend who just got done serving some time in prison, and such terrible timing to get released. It was right about March and April of last year. So right as he's getting out into the world, ready to be free, we're all shutting down and everyone's stuck, isolated back at home. Pretty bad timing. But we had this great discussion on perspective. He said, even in that, even as it was hard, he said, I just tried to keep this perspective of what I was so grateful for and how many freedoms I did have. And I realized I needed that perspective. How many times over this last year that I felt kind of trapped and closed in, and realizing that I'm missing perspective of what I do have. I don't know your perspective on the painting behind me. Maybe you see waves, maybe you see the sky, maybe you see that it's crooked and I should get it fixed. But I want to talk to you two quick thoughts about perspective today. The first one is we need to zoom in, and the second is we need to zoom out more. So we got to learn to zoom in. We get caught up and look all the things that are wrong, and we miss the simple things in front of us that we have to be grateful for and content with. There's a term for this in psychology. Therapists use this, even sometimes in yoga. It's this idea of being mindful, being present, being connected to the world. And that's so powerful, of just learning to be connected. You know, that next time you walk outside, wherever you live, whether it's hot or whether it's freezing cold, just feeling the breeze, noticing the smells, just being connected to what's around you. And as things begin to open up, and depending on where you live in the country, they're already opening up a lot more than for some of us, having a deeper appreciation of every meal, of every time together with people. I think about Psalm 23 in the Bible says, God's my shepherd, so I shall not want. I'm not looking at what I want and need anymore. I'm just focused on what I have. Book of Ecclesiastes talks about learning to eat and drink and just enjoy the pleasures of life. So zoom in and be present to those. Second is the idea of zoom out. Sometimes we miss the big picture. We got to remember we're part of a larger story, that even when things aren't going exactly how you wanted in your life, it's possible that things right now aren't just about you. Maybe God's working something because of your circumstances to help somebody else. Sometimes our mess becomes our ministry. Our story becomes about other people's stories. So even when I don't understand some of the details of what's happening, the Bible said it would be that way. Book of Isaiah says God's thoughts are actually higher than mine, which I'm glad. His ways are higher than mine. So I'm not always going to understand. It won't always make sense. But it is always working together. And so I love the wisdom in the Bible. It says, fix your eyes, set your gaze, set your thoughts on things above, things bigger than you, the bigger story, who God is, what he's up to, how things are working in your life. So don't forget to zoom in more and zoom out more. Let's get that perspective.